everyone please stand, please? Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right. Now, I've just got a quick question before we get started tonight. Is everyone here finally ready for Tyler and Molly to get married? All right. So, it is my pleasure to welcome you all here this evening, family, friends, and loved ones. And for those who are unable to be with us here today, to the wedding of Tyler and Molly. We look forward to celebrating and serving as witnesses as each of them pledged their love and commitment to one another. Tyler and Molly would also like to thank everyone who is here today, especially those who made the trip in from out of town, which I believe is a lot of you, for bringing your love, your friendship, and support this evening. And a special thanks to the families of Tyler and Molly. In particular, I would like to thank their parents. I think that I can speak on behalf of everyone that is here today, that we're all better people for having known your children. We are grateful for their love and support that they have given us, and we acknowledge...
Where's your sit-down thing?
It's coming.
Oh, that's fine.
We're grateful for the love and support that they have given us, and we acknowledge that they are who they are because of the love and support that you have given them. Now, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Dan Hageman. I am a cousin, and at least arguably a favorite cousin, of Tyler's. I'm a self-identified Tyler and Molly enthusiast, and I have the wonderful experience of watching Tyler and Molly's relationship grow, deepen, and take root for the past few years now. It is an absolute privilege and an honor to be standing here today, and from where I'm standing, I can see all the love and support that is present here today, and it's awesome. Now, before we move forward, just wanted to make a brief moment just to remind everyone to please turn off and silence your cell phones. And that includes those of you who have had them on silence since 2012. Okay, we have an excellent professional photographer with us tonight, Jill Markley, so we just want to make sure that we let her do her job. Remember, friends do not let friends take photos at weddings. All right, and with that, welcome again, and you all may be seated. All right. Tyler and Molly, in moments like this, the miraculousness of life becomes abundantly clear. And perhaps what is even more miraculous is that we have a choice. We get to choose the experience of being alive and what it means to us, how we define our purpose, living both independently and codependently. And perhaps most importantly, how we spend our time. In every moment, we are in a field of possibilities where we have access to an infinity of choices. Tyler and Molly have made the most significant choice of their lives. They have chosen each other, and they have chosen their love. I would now like to invite up Alex Amston, Molly's childhood friend, for our first reading.
She's so big. She's coming in this way. All right. The Art of Marriage by Wilfred Peterson.
I don't know if this guy will.
Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. a good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end at the honeymoon. It should continue throughout the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers the whole family. It is doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow old. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, the dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It is not only marrying the right person, it is being the right partner. This is the art of marriage.
Go.
Thank you, Alex. I would now like to invite forward Tom Hageman, another cousin of Tyler's, for our second reading, or perhaps even a poem if we're lucky.
He Never Leaves the Seat Up by Pam Ayres. He never leaves the seat up or wet towels upon the floor. The toothpaste has the lid on, and he always shuts the door. She's very clean and tidy, though she may sometimes delude. Leave your things out at your peril. In a second, they'll have moved. He's a very active person, as are all his next of kin. Whereas she likes lazy days, he'll still drag her to the gym. He romances her and dines her, home-cooked dinners and the like. He even knows her favorite food and spoils her day and night. He's thoughtful when he looks at her, a smile upon his face. Will he look that good in 50 years when his dentures aren't in place? He says he loves her figure and her mental prowess too. But when gravity takes her over, will she charm with her IQ? She says she loves his kindness and his patience is a must. And of course she thinks he's handsome, which in her eyes is a plus. They're both not wholly perfect, but who are we to judge? He can be pig-headed, whereas she won't even budge. All that said and done, they love the time they spent together. And I hope, as I'm sure you do, that this fine day will last forever. He'll be more than just her husband. He'll also be her friend. And she'll be more than just his wife. She'll be his soulmate till the end.
I didn't know we talked for Alex.
All right, well, thank you,
I
Tom.
don't know.
Now, I don't know about everyone else here, but there seemed to be a little bit of an asymmetry in the level of sentimentality between those two readings. Now, what I can tell you is that Molly picked one of them and Tyler picked the other. And I did not necessarily just list their names in that order due to the order that the readings were read. Now, I think I'll just let everyone take their best guess. Now, as I was preparing for this ceremony, I have to admit, I was a little nervous. I hadn't done this before. So there I was, sipping on one of my treehouse beers, which, unironically, was the form of payment that Molly and Tyler had shipped me over the course of several weeks. And I couldn't help but wonder, why had they chosen me? So, lo and behold, I thought I would ask them. Along with a few other questions, maybe to get a bit of a background on their relationship, some of the history, maybe some of the shortfalls, and maybe some of the details that not everyone here knows. So, they independently filled out a short survey. At least everybody thought it was short except for Tyler. He actually deleted a few of the questions. And I was also able to gather a few insights from Trent, Tyler's best man and college roommate, who he's known since playing soccer from a very young age. Insights from Lindsay, Molly's maid of honor and friend since middle school, who she also met playing soccer. And lastly, from Erica, Tyler's older sister and Molly's friend, also having met at another middle school soccer team. So, takeaway here being, for all you single people in the crowd, maybe you should join a soccer team. Like 25 years ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Tyler and Erica's dad, Tim, coached one of these teams. So maybe later tonight, after 1 or 2 drinks, we can get him to start another one up. But putting the single crowd aside for now, and getting back to Tyler and Molly, and why they asked me to officiate today. Molly said that it was Tyler's suggestion, and that she was only won over after a very specific night that we all had spent in Jamaica earlier this year. A trip that I was convinced to go on last minute, and thankfully so. And while this is not the time nor the place to share the entirety of that story from that night, the short version is that it involved Jamaica wine tasting and off-the-cuff speeches about how we all met our significant others and some of the juicy details therein. Now, of course, I was not there with the significant other, which was actually against the rules of the place we were staying. So let's just say that the context of that speech that night was quite unique. But lo and behold, I was able to win Molly over, so here we are today with me up as the officiant. So, after inquiring to these lovely bunch, I wanted to first start, how did these two meet? Now, when I asked Tyler about this, he quickly said, please cite a credible source, i.e. Molly's answer. Now, Molly was thankfully pretty quick to respond that she had known Tyler since a very young age, always as Erica's dorky younger brother, which wasn't that far from Erica's description of Tyler as a bit of a tattletale. Though admittingly, she did say that she deserved it most of the time. And Molly, as they got older, apparently might have even been one of the first people to offer to buy Tyler and his brothers Black and Mild cigars. Potentially with a fake ID that said she was 18. She also noted that she apologizes to her parents for this. So that's how they met. But how did the relationship really start off? Ongoing now for 5 years? Well, no surprise, another unique story. This one involving a party bus for Erica's birthday back in 2015. Where Molly's first reaction to seeing Tyler this time was, this is not the dorky brother that I remember. Telling Erica that her brother had gotten hot. Erica just said no. And Tyler, his first reaction to seeing Molly was, is my sister going to kill me? Well, that first attraction on this night didn't quite end so attractively, as it led to Molly spilling a full cranberry vodka on Tyler's new shoes. And let's just say that some reactive words were exchanged, possibly starting with the B. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I also thought that bewitch was a really odd and rude word to say to Molly at this time. But Tyler insisted that he was kidding, and after being scolded by Erica the next day, this turned into an apology now that is ongoing for 5 years and likely many to come. So while Molly said that since that night, they were chatting ever since, and that was history. Now, Tyler clarified that this soon-to-follow quote-unquote chatting at one point entailed driving actually the equivalent of 1,500 miles in less than 48 hours to spend time with her. And this came to no surprise to me, as I'd given that Trent's evaluation of how Tyler had changed since meeting Molly, that Tyler was now, to put it mildly, whipped. Now, compare this to what Lindsay willfully said about Molly after she started seeing Tyler. Lindsay highlighted that Molly really didn't need to change hardly at all, but that is what made this relationship so perfect. She didn't have to. They both seemed to get along effortlessly, which I think probably is music to Tyler's ears, given that the rest of his first impression of Molly mentioned that he thought she seemed so attractively independent that she wouldn't, quote unquote, need him or any other guy. But as Erica pointed out, even she knew that Tyler had met his match, with each of their laid-back yet driven lifestyles meshing together so perfectly. And when asking Tyler and Molly about each other and why they felt their relationship was a success, Molly highlighted Tyler's honesty, always counting on him to share his honest opinion, how helpful he is, whether cooking, cleaning, yard duty, or perhaps rolling his eyes before helping her with yet another Pinterest project. And in asking Tyler, he spoke about Molly's ability to listen, to challenge him, to open up, and the adorable attempt that Molly made to shotgun a Bud Light, one of the first nights that they hung out together. Apparently the effort was there, and that really counted in her favor. Now, with regard to their least favorite qualities in one another.
What do you say?
Tyler actually broke his list down into the things that she can control and the things she cannot. So we might have to come back to those another time. But in Molly's defense, it should be known that Tyler actually told one of their dogs, Ed, that he loved him ever before he told Molly that he loved her. So I think, and the audience would agree, that Molly gets full permission to keep a nice and long list of Tyler's pet peeves, including the ones she can control. But all in all, when I finally asked Tyler and Molly about marriage and what it means to them, it was actually shocking to see how much they converged on the same ideas. One would almost think Tyler might have been copying off of Molly's example. Both of them emphasizing honest communication and the confidence that will continue to bring as they take realistic approaches to making difficult decisions, both as individuals and as a couple. Someone who pushes you to do better, but drives you just crazy enough to continue to love them. And of course, the fact that Tyler will now become a co-owner of their house rather than a tenant. Or a demotion, as Molly called it for herself. When she did agree that it would come with the extra closet space that Tyler rightfully deserves. But as Erica said, Tyler and Molly's loyalty to each other and to their family and friends leaves them in a perfect position for marriage. With Lindsay adding that Tyler better realize just how damn lucky he is.
So you're my best friend?
And Trent, of course, while hesitant to support Tyler fully, without getting a formal apology for an incident that apparently took place in Lawrence with him and their friend Chase many years ago. Something to do with a falling fan and them getting kicked out of your place after a very long trip. But yes, even Trent still seems to have little doubt that this marriage is one that is meant to be. So while Molly will have to continue to deal with Tyler's driving and the number of emergency breaks that he needs to take, along with his chronic ailment of procrastination, Tyler will always have to continue to clean out the hair in their shower drain and reluctantly accept Molly's inability to, again, quote unquote, party like a hegemon. A couple people in the crowd are nodding their heads. But nonetheless, I have nothing but the greatest confidence that they will both do so relentlessly, with plenty of craft beer and plenty of apparently pumpkin spice lattes by their sides as they mold their long future together. Marriage is a partnership, and in making this commitment to each other, Tyler and Molly become stronger than they were by themselves. Marriage is a bond to be willingly entered into only after considerable thought and reflection. No ceremony can create a marriage, only they can do that. Through love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through hangovers and closet space arguments. What this ceremony can do, however, is witness and affirm the choice that Tyler and Molly have made to stand together from this point forward as husband and wife. All right, and now, without further ado, Molly and Tyler, I invite you to express your commitment to each other by exchanging vows and rings. You're now turned, you're facing one another, and have joined hands to express your vows of love and devotion to each other. May I have the rings, please?
So,
With these rings, Molly and Tyler have the opportunity to share a tangible, outward sign of their union and commitment. These rings are an external and visible sign of the love and commitment that unites their two hearts. The circle, as is frequently noted, is used to symbolize eternity, or infinite and unending time. Love freely given has no beginning, and it has no end. It has no giver and no receiver. For each is the giver, and each is the receiver. In giving and receiving these rings, you again acknowledge that your lives remain joined in an unbroken circle. Wherever you go, you will always return to your shared life together. Tyler, would you please take Molly's ring and place it on her left hand?
Which one first?
I don't know.
Tyler, would you please repeat these vows to Molly, saying after me? I, Tyler, take you, Molly,
I, Tyler, take you, Molly,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better or for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or for poor,
for richer or for poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
promise to love and cherish you,
promise to love and cherish you,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
Molly, would you please take Tyler's ring and place it on his left hand? Molly, would you please repeat these vows to Tyler, saying after me? I, Molly, take you, Tyler,
I, Molly, take you, Tyler,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better or for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or for poor,
for richer or for poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health.
promise to love and cherish you,
I promise to love and cherish you,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
All right. You are now facing each other. You are holding each other's hands and both staring longingly into each other's eyes. However, before I have the utmost privilege and pleasure of pronouncing this couple married, I just have a brief logistical announcement while I have everyone's attention. After the ceremony, the bride and groom will be staying here briefly for photos. For those family and friends that Molly might have spoken to previously, would you please also stay behind? For everyone else, the bride and groom would like to invite everybody to join the cocktail hour that follows this ceremony. This will be held just to the left out the lobby door, a left at the end of that block, and then the restaurant will be just down that block on the left. So, if you get those three lefts correct, you will have done it right. But if that was confusing, please feel free to follow Matthew Brock and Mark Finkston, who will willingly lead the charge from everyone to from the lobby. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand with me. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Molly and Tyler, you have come here today before us, your family, friends, and loved ones, and have expressed your desire to become husband and wife. You have shown your love and affection by joining hands and have made promises of trust and devotion each to the other. And you have sealed these promises by the giving and the receiving of the rings. Therefore, it is my privilege as the officiant, and by the authority given to me by the state of Massachusetts, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great privilege to introduce to you, for the first time, the newly married couple, Mr. and Mrs.
judging.
Hageman.